Good morning and welcome, Patriot Radio News Hour. Joe and Jason on this Tuesday. I hope it finds you well out there as, as usual, a lot of stuff going on. Donald Trump at the UN right now telling his side of things, I guess. The biggest news was they were supposed to meet with the Democrats about the government shutdown. Remember, so now we got 7 days away. For those of you that don't know, so we were supposed to have a budget for fiscal year 2026, which begins October the 1st. Like most things, the other side wants to spend money on what they want to spend money on. In this case, the Democrats are. And again, I get it, right? The Democrats are like, well, wait, hey, I know we agreed all those years ago to stop subsidizing Obamacare, but wow, what a price increase that will be. And so that is the big debate they were going to meet. Apparently, Donald Trump said, thanks, but no thanks, saying that the schedule had been scheduled to meet with Chucky Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries. The president said after reviewing the details of the unserious and ridiculous demands being made by the minority radical left Democrats in return for their vote to keep our thriving country open, I have decided that no meeting with their leaders could possibly be productive. So there you have it. And again, I think it's another thing where we got no good issue, no good choice. Way back when we just lost our way. We lost our way. Somehow we decided we wanted the government to do everything. That, I don't know, healthcare was a right? Everything was a right. Oh, right, I can do what I want, when I want, how I want, and I have the right to do it. Well, yeah, maybe, but you also got to pay the consequences of it, and this is what we're going to pay. Because, as we know, everything is a fortune, and the government now is trying to spend boatloads of money, and it's still not enough. I mean, honestly, is what the Democrats are asking, or is it that ridiculous? Well, no more ridiculous than telling us that healthcare was going to go down by insuring people the healthcare company deemed uninsurable. Same kind of logic. I mean, we knew it wasn't true. Did anyone actually think they'd get better health care coverage? Did anyone actually think they could keep their doctors and all this other stuff? No. It's gaslighting upon gaslighting upon gaslighting, and this is just more gaslighting. I don't know what the outcome is going to be. My guess is at the last second, they'll agree to do nothing but kick the can down the road. And we will have probably another year with no budget. I mean, who needs a budget? I mean, when you're 37, 38, $39 trillion in debt, do you really need a budget at that? I mean, right? At this point, can we just say, the heck with it? We'll just do and spend what we want. Our toll-free number, 800-951-0592. The website at allamericangold.com. And as we like to say now, we have the winners. Gold and silver, text it, yep. Because we know. It's embarrassing, it's ridiculous, but no more embarrassing and ridiculous than any of the other things they told us. Let's go back to, like, free trade. How about free trade? Oh, yeah, this is going to be great. Think about it. We don't want to do these jobs, right? And let's just have free trade where any country that can make it cheaper than us, we'll just build it over there. And you know what's hilarious? Notice how none of the companies, none of the banks said a word. Matter of fact, they were telling you, oh, well, yeah, this is a great plan. What a great idea. Let's just do that. Of course, the banks, they were super excited. Yeah, look at, those are billions of more people we can give credit cards to. And of course, the union reps, remember those guys? Idiots. Oh, yeah, we're going to sell them blenders and microwaves and automobiles. Sounded good. Sounded really good, didn't it? Of course, here's the part they didn't tell you. Oh, by the way, we're not going to build any of that stuff here. And let's face it, it gave them years, a good 20 years, where they could tell you there was no inflation. Right? Because why? Well, we found a cheaper way to build it. The whole while running up the debt. And of course, now we want it all back. Here comes the tariffs. Right? Here comes, wait a minute, H-1B visa workers. Remember the tech guys from India? We got to have them. We need them. We're desperate now. How about $100,000 per person? What do you believe? Well, the one thing that's been money since, well, money was around. We'll be back after the break. 800-951-0592, Patriot Radio News Hour on this Tuesday. Before we're looking at the markets, are you going to be able to watch Jimmy Kimmel? Yeah, apparently Disney said we're going to bring him back. Well, Nexstar and Sinclair now, so if your TV station that airs Jimmy, and I have no idea what station airs Jimmy Kimmel, so they're saying that they will not broadcast Jimmy Kimmel. So we'll see. Yeah, I don't know. I really don't know. The world, we've lost our mind. You know, when I sit there and say we've got the winners, we've got them. That's another example. Everybody's lost their frickin' minds. Everybody. Why? Because it's messed up. We know it's messed up. And I think a lot of us know, but no one can say exactly what it is. That's the left. It's the right. It's social, I don't know, political correctness and the government gaslighting us over and over and over again. And nobody knows right. Everybody, too many people just want to believe the nonsense that their side puts out. Freaking nonsense. You think the left is better than the right or the right's better than the left? Are you out of your mind? Seriously. Look at what these idiots have done. And I mean it. They're freaking idiots. Right? I just named two easy examples. Free trade. And then, of course, Obamacare. And there's 10 million others. It's absolutely, we can't come up with a solution for immigration, really? Is it really that hard? Of course not. None of it's hard. The problem is we keep putting people up there that think we would need more government. This is what more government gets you. Listen, it's going to be absolute hell is coming, and you don't know it. I don't know how you don't know it. Even when I tell you, and I've been doing this a very long time, it's not a matter of if or maybe. No, we're way past that. It is coming. What is it? It's going to be a sovereign debt crisis. What does that mean, sovereign debt? Well, let's just put it simple. We got way too much debt, and we're screwed. That's it. That's the dumbed-down version. And here's the thing. We've got so much of it to sell, we can't really sell it very long. So every year, it's an avalanche, another avalanche, it just doesn't stop. Right? Even now, that's their great solution. Short-term debt. Why? Because we can't sell any long-term debt. Right? Now we can't even have late-night TV without it being some kind of political crap show. I don't know. Let's take a look at what is the market saying. By the way, Fed speak everywhere. More gaslighting, right? More gaslighting everywhere. We did get some data out, the survey data today. Long and short, it wasn't great. It wasn't terrible, but they're telling us that they think, based on this, that third quarter GDP, so third quarter, right, coming to an end, is going to be about 2%. Sounds about right. I don't know. Dow's up 200 points. The S&P and the NASDAQ are not up. They're down. The 10-year note, 415. Not kind of the way we'd like it to go. Crude oil, $63 in change. And the winners, gold and silver, continue the roll here. TV gold, 38.09, above 3,800. How about silver? 44.55. Remember, those are the December contracts. Spot gold, 37.81. It's only up $33 today and $33 yesterday and this and that. Spot silver, 44.25. I know technically it's not all-time highs in silver, but it really is. This is all-time highs. Silver has spent more time above $40 in the last, 3 weeks, month, than it has in its whole lifetime. But nonetheless, it's still eyeing $50. What was it, some other bank? These banks are so funny. All right, we give up. Deutsche Bank, the latest. Okay, all right, gold's going to be 4,000. But it's going to happen in 2026. They still don't want to admit it. It's going to happen now. It's going to happen really any day. I hate to say it that way, but it's just the truth. And when we start looking at what is really happening, look how nonsensical. We got a debt that's almost 38 trillion. Listen, by the end of the year, debt's going to be 39 trillion. And we're sitting there playing, well, I'm not meeting with those guys. Their demands are ridiculous. And guess what? They are ridiculous. He's not wrong. No more ridiculous than the amount of spending the Republicans want to do. And you know what they usually end up doing? Okay. What did you ask for? Oh, you want to spend another $1 trillion? How about $100 billion? No? Oh, wait, you'll spend half it. And they'll end up, Jason, as you know, they'll end up agreeing, let's just throw another $300-400 billion on it, and we'll claim that we're doing a good job.
It's always somebody else's fault when things go wrong. And if there's anything good to say, they take credit for things they probably had nothing to do with. It's funny because we talked about how long that they're not in a winnable situation. They'll lower the rates and crank out the money, and then they're going to have inflation. Or you raise the rates and you contract the money supply, and you cause a recession or even a depression. But if they do one of those things, some of the economy will be better and they can claim victory, right?
Right.
So they're going to lower the rates, they're going to print money, and there's going to be this big sugar high. We're all seeing it. Gold is a leading indicator of inflation. I've said that so many times, and here comes gold racing upward again. Well, they're lowering rates, and they got a big spending package out, and they're going to have a couple more. I'm guessing gold is telling you it's coming, guys. It's coming again, Joe.
Yeah.
Inflation, bad inflation.
Right. The worst part is, I wish it was just that, right? Because it does look like it's going to be a stagflation in the cycle, right?
Yep.
That's what it looks like. In other words, we're not going to get this tremendous growth, but they can spend enough to keep us out of recession. On top of that, nobody wants to hold fiat money anymore. Nobody. It's incredible. And it's not quiet on this show. You guys know what China is doing with gold imports is downright scary. They are becoming the hub of the world. Do you know how many countries now are storing gold in China? Yeah, it's happening. They're supposed to do it here. Where do they store their gold? Well, they store it at the place that they view will be the most stable and probably the least likely to weaponize it. Right? I mean, that's the other part of it, right? But how about this? If you don't believe the lies, and this one really got to me. Gene Ludwig. Now, Gene Ludwig, only people like me would even know who this guy is. He used to be the comptroller for the currency. Now, unfortunately, he never said this while he was at his job. But now that he doesn't have the job anymore, he's decided to tell the American public the truth. The problem is, you got to be an idiot like me to even find it. Here's what he had to say about inflation in America. He said now for decades, the CPI, right, that's your Consumer Price Index, i.e. inflation, which has been measuring the cost of living in America, unfortunately, it actually doesn't tell the story about inflation. The CPI is not tremendously relevant to the live and lived experience of the middle and low income Americans who don't buy 80,000 goods and services. In other words, what he's trying to say is, and when you talk about the middle and lower class of America, right, you're talking the vast majority of Americans. Let's understand what he's saying. Hey, the bottom 90%, this whole CPI is a bunch of crap. Because for the majority of them, right, they just got enough money to what? Eat, pay the rent, pay the car payment, pay the insurance. Like, there is no excess. They don't take trips, right? They don't buy big screen TVs and blah, 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 and all these things that somehow lower the price of inflation. By the way, when was this guy the comptroller? 93 to 98. He said that the mismeasurement of America, how the government statistics mask the economic struggle of everyday Americans. And here's essentially what this means. This is why we know the big crash is coming. See, they tried to convince everybody that it was okay. It's okay to spend all this money. It's fine. Hey, listen, let the government, we'll provide all the answers. Oh, and by the way, we'll just keep interest rates at zero so that way it doesn't look bad and create even worse inflation. And you know what? We're going to lie to you about it as well on top of it. We're just going to lie. And they know they're lying. And now, Jason, I think the problem with the lying is, look at where we sit today. If I was to tell you 20 years ago, if I was on the air and I said, hey, the economy is going to be 2.2%, the unemployment rate's 4.3%, we'd be like, wow, that's pretty good. Pretty good. Not quite awesome, right? Awesome, you'd have to be like 2.8, almost 3%. But you'd be like, oh, man, that's probably pretty good times. Is anybody out there saying it's pretty good times? I don't see it. And again, Jason talks about the sugar high. I don't know how high we're going to get on the sugar.
I don't know either.
Right?
It's happening, though.
Know.
It's happening.
It's happening.
Record highs everywhere. For how long?
For how long? How much time do we really have? That's the only question. Patriot Radio News Hour. When we get back, another stupid special from the Patriot Radio. 800-951-0592, Patriot Radio News Hour. Joe and Jason here on this Tuesday. Listen, gold's up $35, $37.83. It's going to be, how high is it going to be? A lot higher, unfortunately, because we gave up. That's what's happened. Sorry. They gave up. It's frustrating, but it's the truth. But here's the thing. You can win on this. We have the winners here. We do. Today's outrageous specials of the day. I have 9 1-ounce gold eagles. And I also have a maple leaf. So I've got 10 1-ounce government hallmarked coins. $38.75, which is essentially on a gold eagle. You're essentially buying gold eagle at my cost. Cost right now is about 2% over, about $18, $17, $16. Well, now $15 over cost. $38.75. I've got 9 of those. I've got 1 maple leaf. Same thing, $38.75. By the way, 20s today, $38.95. So cheaper than 20s, well below. Listen, gold eagles right now are over $4,000. So this is a good opportunity. 1-ounce American Gold Eagles, $38.75. If you're in Phoenix, I've got them here. You can pick them up today. Colorado, I'll get them up there ASAP. And then I've got 4. These are Valcambi Swiss 1-ounce gold bars. But you can break them into 1/10 of an ounce. Pretty cool. Now, right now, a 10th ounce American Gold Eagle, so crazy, is $445. And I'm like, here's the sad part. I'm like one of the cheapest guys around with that stuff. That would be $4,450 for 10th ounce Gold Eagles. Here I've got a bar, a 1-ounce bar that can break into a 10th ounce. I'm going to sell them in the bar, in the packaging. And I'm going to sell these. Tell you what, because I want to get rid of $3,900. $3,900. Breakable 1-ounce gold bars that break into 10 1/10 ounce gold bars at 9510592. You're not going to beat those prices anywhere. Speaking of price, where's gold going? Now, of course, I'm telling you short term, and I hate doing it, but it's just true. Right? I think gold's 4,000 before the end of the year. Next year, could we see 5? Maybe more? Jeffrey, so we had, what was it, Deutsche? Was it Deutsche Bank? Deutsche threw in the towel today, called for 4,000 gold. Jeffries came out and said, well, based on the amount of money printing, with gold now above $3,700 an ounce this week. Of course, now it's like almost $3,800. Surpassing our initial targets that were first published in December of 2022. Okay, all right. I guess way back then they thought the highest gold could ever go was $3,700. But in their note, they are now saying that they have a new price target for gold. The new price target, ready for this? $6,600. As they say, upon closer examination and inspection, this new figure aligns more closely with the conventional price target, meaning at what price is the absolute top if gold does run. Okay, so now here's what's funny. Here's what's funny about what they're saying. Jeffrey, Societe Generale are now saying that 6,600 would not be the big run. And pointing to the M2 money supply, Jeffrey says that the price of gold could go to 12,000 based on the increase in the money supply coming in from our government, on top of if you throw like greed and other things in there, and say that if you went back to like the 80s, remember gold peaked? Remember when gold went from like $42 to $800? I mean, I was just a kid. But they say that would really put gold at about $11,900. So do I think buying gold eagles at $38.75 is a great buy? Yup. Breakable Valcambi bars. Think about these Valcambi bars. I mean, if gold, let's just go gold 10,000. And I would, listen, I'm telling you, I'm not talking about, well, is that in 50 years? No. Don't be shocked. Within the next 10 years, it absolutely can be there. Will it? I don't know. If we're going to keep being morons and keep lying to ourselves, yes, it will. But at $10,000, a $10,000 you're talking about, it's over $1,000. What a great way to buy. You know what? Think about this. Maybe if you're getting ready to retire, you may want to buy the four that I have. Every month you just break off a 10th ounce and bring it into Jason and I. Here's $1,000 a month to help with your Social Security check. Oh, pretty good idea to me. Forget about, listen, $3,800 gold. absolutely nothing compared to where it's going. 800-951-0592, Patriot Radio News Hour, Joe and Jason. 1 ounce American Gold Eagles, whatever I have left, $38.75. And the breakable 1 ounce Valcambi bars that break into 1/10 ounce gold bars, $3,900 at 800-951-0592. And just the Panda bonds are out. China continuing very slowly to become an alternative to the dollar. The Shanghai Gold Exchange becoming maybe the epicenter of this revolution. Remember, we talked about their tokenizing gold. They're offering contracts not just for futures, but for direct physical delivery, increasingly pricing it in renminbis instead of dollars, at the same time inviting central banks to park their gold reserves inside China itself. And guess what? Is anybody surprised? Jason, they got they got countries that are saying, yeah, we're interested. Let's do that.
I think there's a lot of countries interested in it. I mean, let's face it, the gold price is high because there's a lot of buying. It's just not happening on the lower ends. We're not the retail, right, Joe? It's such a great time to buy, and then people are, well, the price is so high, right, Joe? But it's just, you got to understand what it is. It's happening, Joe. Here's a good question, Joe. What do you think retail gold buying is going to come back, or do you think it's top heavy now? It's all going straight up.
Yeah, and sorry, I was distracted there. But it's, again, it's one thing to gaslight us, right? But these other countries, they're like, no, okay, we see what's happening and we're going to do something about it. It's just logical. Being more diversified, getting involved here. It's just like when we talk about, and I keep telling you, man, you guys better have other revenue streams because you're going to need it, because it is going to get a lot more expensive, because we are going to have problems financing debt. It's just that simple. That is what is coming. It doesn't matter what interest rates they want them to be. We are going to have to raise the bribe, if you will, to get these countries to buy this debt. And I think Texit's the answer. You know, we talked about what it's been doing. We're over 30,000 miners. The mine will be full at 200,000 miners. We're going to be at 50,000 miners. What, 3 weeks? Right? Here's the problem. Once we get to 100,000 miners, the mine will be full in 30 days. That's how fast it'll go. Just that fast. Don't miss it. Listen, $9.95. They're now projecting it to be $80 in February. $9.95 would get you $8 a day if that number comes to fruition. Almost $3,000 a year. What kind of return? That's an incredible return. How about if you could get a 9-pack today for $8,955? It's a lot of money, but you can do it. Do you know that would be $88 a day? $88 a day. How would an extra $32,000 a year, how would that change your retirement? How would that look? An extra $2,600, $2,700 a month. Maybe all you can do is the 5-pack. You buy 5, they'll give you 1 free. Right? That's $49.75. If you were able to do that, that's 0.6 of a coin. That's $48 a day at $80. I mean, you're talking about like almost an extra $1,500 a month.
It's kind of funny, Joe, because for a while we had this advertiser, Why Refi, and you had to be an accredited borrower, have $1 million in assets. You had to have a $50,000 buy-in, and you can get 10. It was a good investment.
It's great. 10.25%.
10.25 annual. What is this thing doing monthly, Joe?
Right.
What is this thing?
I mean,
the huge returns
and here's
on this.
the thing, guys. They actually think it's going to be $800. $800 in the next couple of years. I mean, now you're talking about life-altering money. Life-altering. If you can swing the 27-pack, $26,865 at $80, do you know that you'd have almost $100,000 a year of income? Notice I said a year. Yeah, it doesn't stop. It's not a one-time deal. By the way, at $800, how about $1 million a year? That's the type of potential. Is it guaranteed? Is it set in stone? No.
Has it happened before? Yes.
Yes.
The first pizza was bought with 10,000 Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Think about
that. The first Bitcoin transaction, 2 pizzas.
10,000 Bitcoin.
Pizzas.
10,000 Bitcoin.
10,000 Bitcoins, and now 1 Bitcoin's $110,000. This is your second shot. I really do. And listen, when we first started this, I was like, man, I don't know. It's a shot. It's a shot in the dark. Now I'm like, man, this is likely to be here long term. And now I'm like, gosh, I think $100 is kind of a layup, right? Kind of a layup. I could be wrong, but that's just what it looks like. Change your life. Accept the fact that it can happen and will happen. Final segment coming up. 800-951-0592. Again, 1 ounce gold eagles till they're gone. They're going to be $3,875. That is cheaper than $20 gold. Pretty much cheaper than it. Nobody's selling it at this price, right? Because it's basically cost. But I've got 9 of them. I want to get rid of them, buy them. I've got them here in Phoenix. I can have them up to Colorado, lickety split. And then I've got 4 of these Valcambi. If you're on Rumble and YouTube, this is what they look like. The Valcambi 1 ounce gold bars that break into 10th ounce. Yeah, I mean, if you need $1,000 down the road, you just break off one of these things because that's probably where gold's heading. But those are at $3,900, and then of course signing up for Texit, all at 800-951-0592. And again, why is these the winners? Well, I think it's easy to understand why gold's the winner, right? Because they lost control of this thing, and now they gave up. And I'm sorry to say it, guys, but they gave up. They quit. They quit because they were incapable of making the hard choices. They were. And now we do things that are economic suicide. You don't raise rates or lower rates, with inflation this high. And it's not 3%. You know that. I know that. We all know that. You don't do it. We're going to. Right? You don't get to lower rates when you have $38 trillion, $39 trillion, $40 trillion in debt. We're going to. We're going to. It's easy to see why. Why do we think Texit's a winner? One, it's a great idea. Right? It's really, I'll call it the people's money. That's what Layer 2 is going to be. Wait till you see what happens. But crypto in general, why do you think they're really making it easier for crypto? Why do you think? Oh, Donald Trump's doing it for us. Look at, he's great. That's not why. I mean, well, he got to become, what did he take his wealth to, Jason? 30, 40, 50 times?
Yeah.
With crypto? I mean, something outrageous.
More millionaires were created with Bitcoin than any other industry in American history. So
this is the Bitcoin redo, guys. Why? Because fiat money is going out the door. Better to learn it with us, because we can hold your hand and help you do it. It's not the easiest thing in the world to navigate. People think it's easy. It's not. I had one of my guys, my buddy, he did a 27-pack, signed up his kids, his grandkids. I mean, his whole family's in it. He had Bitcoin on Robinhood. Do you know how much they let him withdraw on Robinhood? $5,000 a day. That's it. He's like, Joe, this is such a pain in my you-know-what. Why is it so difficult? Yeah. They make it that way. Believe me, you better know how to operate in this space. And we're going to help you do it, too. There ain't no 800 Bitcoin customer service, but there is for texting. Call us, 800-951-0592. Jason and I, we're going to be back with the Half Empty Cup.